DocTalk is brought to you by Merck Animal Health. By integrating the comprehensive animal health product portfolio of Merck Animal Health with the innovative technologies of All-Flex Livestock Intelligence, we are shaping the future of animal health, resulting in more effective solutions and healthier animals.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. We're going to have a great show today. We have Dr. Randall Spare from Ashland Veterinary Center. He's going to be here to talk about breeding soundness exams, fertility testing, bulls, and much more. He's a great friend, a great colleague. Stay tuned.
At Merck Animal Health, we wake up each day seeking new innovations to keep your herd healthy. This is why we're proud to now include All-Flex Livestock Intelligence in our portfolio of solutions. With All-Flex, we can provide the tools to identify, monitor, and trace each animal within a herd. Its state-of-the-art offerings deliver real-time insights to help you optimize productivity. Merck Animal Health and All-Flex Livestock Intelligence for our animals, our industry, and our future.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. Look who we got here with us, Dr. Randall Spare. He's a friend, a colleague, one of the best veterinarians and men that I know, and it's humbling to get you away. You're so busy, so many things going on, so many people pulling you so many different directions, and he's going to spend a little time with us today. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dan. It's just a pleasure, and thanks for what you do for our industry. We really appreciate it.
Dr. Spare is the owner-operator of Ashland Veterinary Center. You spend a lot of time with bulls, a lot of time with just in the beef industry, but breeding soundness exams and things like that is something that you spend quite a bit of time with.
You know, Dan, we do. There doesn't a week go by throughout the year because we have several seed stock producers in our area, and they're always merchandising bulls. So we're fertility testing year round, not just in the spring of the year prior to breeding season. So, you know, we're thankful for the opportunity to have our hands on a lot of bulls and a lot of different types of bulls. And I think the understanding that they're a living creature. And when we test a bull, we're estimating, is this animal going to be able to service cows?
Yep. So let's get into a little bit, to just kind of set the stage of why we do these breeding soundness exams and why it's important to work with a veterinarian on this.
So if we think about fertility or reproductive rate is our number one indicator of whether a ranch is going to be profitable. So we not only do we want cows bred early or bred, we want them bred early. And we want them to be bred within a short breeding season. So we need to know that those animals that we put into our bull battery are fertile and can service cattle.
Yeah, and there are things that can change over time. There are things that during a season or during injuries and different things of that nature that probably need to make sure that everything's functioning correctly, at least on day one, when we put these bulls in.
So that being said, is when we fertility test a bull, I don't like to look at it to shoot the first moment. When they come into the clinic or I'm at a ranch, I'm looking at those bulls when I get out of the truck. I'm looking to see if I see lame ones out there, see ones that are a little bit thinner, see ones that are maybe not so dominant that have been beat on. I try to look at ages, to try to ascertain what ages of bulls am I working with. And so it's good to get the whole picture so that we don't become tunnel vision and only say, is this bull fertile? Can he produce semen?
Right. And I think that as it's no different than, I always tell cowboys in the feed yard, you can't diagnose lameness in a chute. I got to see him move. I got to see him, and so I think it's very, very wise.
So we might even see lame bulls, and people will come in and say, well, this one's been lame, it's up in his hip. So I think it's important also as a veterinarian for me to promise myself to, if a producer wants to keep a bull, I'm going to pick up his foot and look at the bottom of his foot, because that lameness could be something simple to fix. If it's not in his foot and he's a mature bull, he, particularly in his back end, he may not even need to be fertility tested.
Right, if he can't mount a cow.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we look at those feet, we look at the shape of the feet, and we ask many producers, it may mean that they haven't have bulls in a small pasture. Maybe what are their goals? Maybe they purchased this bull from another seed stock producer or somebody else that is an older bull, but he doesn't need to cover a lot of territory. If he's in Missouri where there's one cow per acre and there's 20 acres versus in Texas County, Oklahoma, where the cows are 1 per 30 acres, those bulls have to cover a lot of territory, and we have to have that understanding. And the bigger the picture we have, the better we're going to understand what's that producer's goals.
It's perfect. It's a great time to take a break. When we come back, more with Dr. Randall Spare from Ashland, Kansas.
Time is money on the farm, and your cows are less productive when they're stressed. The Alertus on-farm test from IDEX allows you to quickly test cowside and identify open or pregnant cows within minutes on your schedule in the parlor, barn, or chute. It's more efficient for your farm, very simple to use, and puts you in control. With minimal training and reliable, fast results, sample-based pregnancy testing is better for beef and dairy producers. Learn more at idex.com/DocTalk.
Innovative low-stress cattle handling equipment is key to efficiency and safety. At Daniels Manufacturing Company, we design systems using the best materials. We work with top producers from all over the world who use Daniels products on their operations. We concentrate on quality, prioritizing the safety of the animals and their handlers. Each product is carefully crafted and inspected to ensure your system will last for many years. Whether your operation is small or large, Daniels Manufacturing Company can design a facility to meet your needs. Visit us online or call to see how we can improve your cattle handling facility.
Nasalgen 3 is a new 3-way intranasal BRD vaccine that offers young calves unrivaled protection against devastating respiratory diseases, including IBR, BRSV, and PI3. And it has a unique blue shadow, so there's no second guessing which animals have been vaccinated. To up your protection, choose new Nasalgen 3 PMH, the first and only 5-way intranasal vaccine on the market. Talk to your veterinarian and visit nasalgen.com to learn more.
ValleyVet.com is your one-stop shop for your every animal need, from prescription meds, vaccines, equipment, and more for the ranch to the show ring. Shop ValleyVet.com for fast shipping and great prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Randall Spare, owner and operator of Ashland Veterinary Center in Ashland, Kansas, works with a ton of bulls, such a respected veterinarian internationally. And, let's talk about as that bull's coming to your clinic or you're out on the ranch, and just kind of walk us through a breeding soundness exam.
So Dan, first of all, we have to remember when we do a breeding soundness exam, this is a picture in time. It's like looking at a balance sheet of a business. And we're looking at what happened to this bull or what was going on with this bull 60 days ago. So when we get him in, we're wanting to do a good physical exam. We observe his condition. We have him in the chute. The first thing I'll do is to palpate him and to feel his seminal vesicles to see if there's any swelling in there and to give an indication. So I have the mentality that this whole exam will tell me a story of, can this bull breed cows? That it starts with that physical exam. Then we measure his scrotum, and that scrotum has to be on a mature bull that's over 3 years of age. He needs to be a 34 centimeter scrotum. If he's a less than 15-month-old bull, he has to be a 30 centimeter scrotum. Those are standards that are set by the Society of Theriogenology. Those aren't what I pick. Those are the standards that's been set by a group of veterinarians. And when after we measure a scrotum, we'll use an ejaculator. And my goal when I'm collecting a bull is to try to do it without vocalization. And it's part art, and it's part science, and it's part repetition, and just being able to do the opportunity to do thousands and thousands of bulls to get a sample collected. And older bulls, it's a little bit easier to get them collected. And so we'll want to see good extension. We're looking for the sheath to see if there's been any previous injuries, to see if there's any constrictions on that sheath that indicate maybe in the past year he was injured. And if there's any form of constriction where I don't think that bull will get his penis out and pull it back in, then we can stop the exam right there and make that recommendation that he probably won't be good. But here again, I'll ask the producer, here's what's going on. What do you want us to do? Right. So then once we see he's able to extend, we'll collect a semen sample. We'll put it under a microscope and we'll look at that motility. Now, one of the challenges is people will say, is there a lot or is there a few? So we want to just make sure there's plenty of progressively motile sperm. Yep. And then once that happens, and he has at least a fair motility. That's all the standard says, that we have to have fair motility. Most of the time on these mature bulls, they'll be very good. They'll be swimming in clouds there, and it's fun to show people what that looks like so that they know what's happening. And then once we give them the assignment of at least a fair motility, then we'll kill those cells and stain them and look them underneath of a little bit higher magnification. We'll have to have at least 70% morphology, a normal morphology to pass that bull. Yep.
And so I kind of liked it how you said there's 3 main things to a fertility test, and those were?
Those 3 main things is scrotal size. And it's important to remember, when I'm measuring the scrotum, it's part of the story. It's not only am I measuring, I'm feeling those. I'm feeling for hard places on the epididymis, on the tail or the head, or also on the testicle. Or one testicle's maybe non-functional. Yep. And so it's not only measuring, but it's part of that physical exam, Dan.
Yep. So we go scrotal circumference.
And then we look at motility. Yep. And then we look at morphology. That is the big word for the shape of the cells. Are the heads and tails detached? Is there proximal droplets? Is there distal droplets? Is there deformed heads?
And that sets the story, folks, for, okay, that bull can get a cow pregnant. Now we're going to start walking into some of the other things, some of the myths, and some of the things that you need to be doing beyond the breeding soundness exam with Dr. Randall Spare.
They're here, they're hungry, and they can't be stopped with ivermectin. Choose Safeguard when you deworm your cattle to take out resistant parasites like brown stomach worm, Cooperia, Nematodirus, and others. With Safeguard's efficacy, you can kill more resistant worms in your cattle, so you don't leave potential on the table. Consult your veterinarian for the diagnosis and treatment of parasitism. Then bite back at safeguardworks.com.
We see you, working hard from the early mornings to the late nights and every hour in between. We see you. We see the pursuit, the desire, the effort, the hope, the goal of being a champion. And we see that you need a partner to keep your animals healthy and happy. With our countless products and quick and reliable shipping, together, we can do just that. To the cowboys and cowgirls, to the dreamers, we see you.
The Alertus on-farm pregnancy test for us has been unbelievable time saver because we can do it whenever we want. My favorite part about Alertus on-farm, we can get results fast. In 20 minutes, you know whether that cow goes to pasture A, B, or C. It's just very efficient. It's going to make you a lot of money. You're not going to have open cows standing there all winter looking at you, and you can do it on your time.
ValleyVet.com is your one-stop shop for your every animal need, from prescription meds, vaccines, equipment, and more for the ranch to the show ring. Shop ValleyVet.com for fast shipping and great prices.
Valley Vets. Supply.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with my friend and colleague, Dr. Randall Spare. He is a veterinarian in Southwest Kansas and practices all over the state. In Oklahoma, Texas has, just a tremendous veterinary practice that he has built from the ground up, and just something to be so proud of, the way you serve your clients, the way you serve others in your community. It's what veterinary medicine is all about, folks. And we're talking about breeding soundness exams, which you do thousands of them. And we've gotten through the breeding soundness exam. Now there's a few myths out there that people, it's kind of like everything, what we hear in the coffee shop, or what we hear at the bull sale, or what we hear at the auction market. What are some of those myths?
So Dan, you grew up in a veterinary family, and when your dad was practicing, and back in the time, the original test entailed a score of adding together the morphology and the motility and the scrotal size to create a score of 70. Well, that has stuck with people, and they said, well, what's this bull score? And today I go through that explanation. It's a threshold test. Is this bull going to breed today and settle cows? And that includes what we talked about, the scrotal size, the morphology, and motility. But really today I'll have people call me and say, what does this bull score? And I said, he passes. He passes. And I'm confident that he will pass. So why I want to bring that up, I talked to many people from all over the country who buy bulls from one of my seed stock producers, and they wanted to know, what's he score? I said, no, he passes. Well, at the stockyards, when they test a bull, they put 90, 80, 70 on him, and that tells us how good they are. So one thing we have to remember, that a fertility test doesn't quantify the ability of a bull to breed cows.
Yeah.
It says it will breed a cow today.
Yep, and I think that's something that, you pass or you fail. And I can remember Dad sitting there, and we would do the morphology and that, and he would have his equation and come up with the score, which obviously people put some time and thought into, but really a 90 versus an 80 isn't.
That's exactly right. And the thing is, we have to remember, Dan, not every ejaculate from a bull is the same.
Right.
There are times that I'm trying to get a bull to pass or give a semen sample, and it's early spring of the year and it's been cold, and my first ejaculate may not look very good, but the bull's testicles feel good. That's the beginning of the story of this test. Those testicles feel good, and I may get 3, 4, or 5 ejaculates before I'm convinced that what I'm getting is a representative sample of what's going on there. And I would encourage producers to ask veterinarians and veterinarians to be tenacious in getting a representative sample. And I think so many of the challenges that we have today is when some veterinarians may not have the opportunity that we have to do a lot of bulls. They'll test a bull and get one ejaculate and say, he's no good, I'll test him next year, or throw him away.
The other one is this is just a snapshot in time, right? Does a bad test mean a bull is done?
No. So if the testicles feel good, I will encourage people to retest that bull in maybe 2 to 3 weeks.
And then what about it, a year later, or 2 years later, or 3 years later?
So it's important to retest that bull every year, because he can develop an infection throughout the summer. Maybe he has an ascending infection and he gets a scrotal infection, or he gets injured. Yep. It's important to do that every year before turnout, to know what you have, so that we can count on these bulls breeding a lot of cows.
Perfect. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more with Dr. Randall Spare. We're talking about breeding soundness exams in bulls, and you're watching DocTalk.
Innovative low-stress cattle handling equipment is key to efficiency and safety. At Daniels Manufacturing Company, we design systems using the best materials. We work with top producers from all over the world who use Daniels products on their operations. We concentrate on quality, prioritizing the safety of the animals and their handlers. Each product is carefully crafted and inspected to ensure your system will last for many years. Whether your operation is small or large, Daniels Manufacturing Company can design a facility to meet your needs. Visit us online or call to see how we can improve your cattle handling facility.
Dr. Nels here, folks. We're super excited about this book on hiring. Have you made a bad hire? Have you hired someone you wish you wouldn't have? Are you looking to hire? It's a great short read on helping you in the hiring process. You can find it on Amazon, Kindle, Audible, or find it at drnels.com. Check it out there. We'd love to see you there.
ValleyVet.com is your one-stop shop for your every animal need, from prescription meds, vaccines, equipment, and more for the ranch to the show ring. Shop ValleyVet.com for fast shipping and great prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Randall Spare. Dr. Spare is a veterinarian in Ashland, Kansas. Tremendous practitioner, tremendous man, and has been a mentor for me. And so I just appreciate when we get a chance to work together. It's a blessing. And let's talk about, we've tested the bull, we've gone through the myths. We're going to kick him out in the pasture. Do we just leave it up to God then, or do we?
So Dan, one of the things that when people turn bulls out to pasture, they'll often ask them, well, how many bulls? I've got a bunch of little pastures, and I only really want to put one bull per pasture, and that makes me really nervous. But we can use that information there to help us understand. If you have one bull per pasture, it's important for you to go look at that bull every day or every other day to make sure that he, A, stays with the cow, and then if he has an injury, we need to know that and get a bull replaced in that pasture. So it's important to go out and look. A, are they lame, or do they have foot rot, develop some other lameness, or a tool injury of some sort? And it's important to observe that.
Yeah, and is the bull functioning? Is he covering cows? Lots of different things that if we aren't out there observing, you'll miss more. They say you'll miss more by not looking than you will by not knowing.
And that's important. I can do a really good exam, a physical exam and a BSE exam in April. But if he's turned out May 1st and he could be out there 3 or 4 days and then have an injury, and he's not going to do any good. And Dan, I've pregged groups of cows in my veterinary career when there was zero bred. And it's important, and they're kind of mad at me because you tested the bull. Maybe you should have looked to see if he had a swelling underneath the sheath. Looking for those things that are abnormal and is really important. Great opportunity to observe.
Yep. Any other words of wisdom with, like when you turn bulls out, or things that producers should be looking at or be thinking about?
So often we're asked, well, how many bulls should I turn out? And the first thing I ask, well, how old are those bulls? And, if we have to buy yearling bulls today, or bulls that are 13 to 15 months of age, kind of a good rule of thumb is one cow per month of age of those bulls. So if they're a 15-month old bull, let's put him with 15 cows. And I would say try as the best as you can, put out the same ages within each pasture. Because you don't want mature bulls beating up on these young bulls, and they'll make them pretty timid. And we'll give everybody an opportunity to breed if we do that. And I think that's real important.
Yeah, I agree. So I love that rule of thumb that for a cow per month of age. And then what's the threshold then on some of these?
So as far as age,
yeah,
I've depending on the practice and their management style, I have some people that dry lot their cows during breeding season, and that bull's eating out of a bunk. And I've fertility tested bulls, and I said, how old is this bull? Well, I don't know. So we look at it. He has about 4 teeth left, or he has pearls. but he was in great condition, and he's producing great semen. I think that might have been a little bit old. But we have to remember, we want them to be like college athletes, and we want to be out looking for bulls or looking for cows to breed. So I think, in my rule of thumb, you get to 6 and 7 years of age, it's time to go on. I think we have to remember, because not only are they probably at the end of the breeding life, there's better bulls to be purchased if we're really going to increase the genetic profile of our herd.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for being on the show. It's a great show today.
Just thanks for the opportunity, Dan, and thanks for what you do for our profession. We appreciate it very much.
We're going to keep charging on. Dr. Randall Spare. Thanks for watching DocTalk. Remember, if you want to know what we do, you can find us on the web at www.doctalktv.com. Always work with your local veterinarian. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson with Dr. Randall Spare, and we'll see you down the road.
DocTalk is brought to you by Merck Animal Health. By integrating the comprehensive animal health product portfolio of Merck Animal Health with the innovative technologies of All-Flex Livestock Intelligence, we are shaping the future of animal health, resulting in more effective solutions and healthier animals.
Valley Vet Supply sees the hard work and effort of you and your animals to achieve your goal of being a champion. And we're here to help along the way. To the cowboys and cowgirls, to the dreamers, we see you.